Hi. Okay, this week, anyways, this video is a random video. This has nothing to do with the Wednesday or Friday videos that I do or going to do. This is just a random video for you guys, and it's about business ownership. For those of you who don't know, which is all of you, my boyfriend and I are opening a comic book store, which is great and awesome, and owning a business is the most fulfilling, wonderful thing on the planet, and it's fun when you get down to brass tacks. But I wanted to do this video about, the things they don't tell you about when you're opening a business. Now I'm not a business major. Let's start there. I did not major in business in college. I majored in creative writing, English, film studies, and art history. None of that even remotely translates to business ownership. So, just gonna get that out of the way. I did not graduate with a degree in business, so I did not go to classes for this, and so I did not, nor did my fiance. We both did not know at all. We were just like, hey, let's try it. But this list also doesn't pertain to it's like a general thing. It's my experience from starting a business with a storefront. So that's what this list pertains to. Mostly catered towards comic book storefront. So anyways, here's my list of things no one told me when starting a business. Money. No one told me that it would cost so much. Now, I'm not naive and I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. It's not going to cost anything. It's cool. But being that we're starting a business from scratch, let me learn you a thing. You're starting a business from scratch. You cannot really get a business loan. You can get personal loans, but you can't get a business loan until your business is established and you have some sort of revenue to show the banks that shows that they're going to get their initial investment back. We didn't have that. This is starting from scratch. So, and we didn't want to get personal loans just because we didn't want to dig a hole. So what we're doing is more like using our own income to facilitate the business. Now, we didn't think it cost so much. We're like, yeah, the storefront, but we found a way to make the rent for the storefront and then our rent work into one thing. So that is not really the problem. It's just the fact the little things add up. Like, say you want a business license. We went through LegalZoom. This is not a LegalZoom sponsored video. LegalZoom is dope. We wanted to go through and register our business as an LLC. So we did that. Little did we know, so we wouldn't have to do all the things. So LegalZoom would take care of everything and all we had to do was focus on our business. That shit cost a lot of money. I don't feel like going into how much money, but it cost a lot of money. So we did that, and there's 3 of us. We have 3 partners, so 3 people are putting into this business. And I am the one who's basically quit my full-time job in order to make this my full-time job, which segues into my next point. You either need to find someone to run and start your business, or you yourself need to prepare to make this your full-time job. See, we're opening a storefront, therefore 2 out of 3 of us can't work. One of us has to work on the business, so that's me. I stay home and I do all the numbers and I call all the distributors and I do all that. That means you're not gonna have any revenue coming into your bank account until you open downstairs. And I say downstairs because my business, I live above my business. So until I open my storefront downstairs, there's no cash coming in to my bank account. So I am basically home figuring out all the ins and outs, lining up the distributors, figuring out the business license with LegalZoom, calling local businesses to help with ordering banners, designing credit cards, starting all our social networks on Instagram and all of that. That becomes a full-time job. It is so time consuming. You have to be ready to put in that time and that effort and make those sacrifices of quitting your full-time job to make it your full-time job if you want it to be a successful business. Like, if you have partners, you all cannot keep your jobs. That's not going to make any sense. You're giving your full time to this job while giving your full time to this job. There's only 24 hours in a day. So just don't do that. So that's another fact. So money and personal sacrifice. You've got to quit your full-time job and make your business your full-time job in order to do that. Nobody told us that. We tried to make it work. It didn't work. So now we're doing it this way. Learning the hard way. Another fun fact, finding distributors. So you go into a comic book shop, you see all the books and toys and memorabilia, cool little lapel pins, stuff like that, and you're like, cool. You don't think twice where they get that shit. You're just like, obviously they're a comic book shop and there's some comic book shop god that drops all that lovely inventory on your lap. That's not a thing. Finding distributors, Google is going to be your best friend. And also going to other comic book shops and just asking questions. It seems weird because you're like, oh, they're competition, but really people are pretty cool at other businesses. Say you're not opening a comic book shop, say you're opening a bookstore, you will be able to ask another local bookstore, small shop, where do they get their inventory, and they'll be able to tell you where they get it from, which is majorly helpful. So finding distributors, and then finding specialty distributors. So we want to carry Kid Robot figurines and art things. You have to go on all these specialty websites to find that. So we wanted to do Kid Robot. So I went on Kid Robot's website and I just went all the way to the bottom, scanned it. Usually websites, big companies like that, like Kid Robot, companies like Yesterday Co. and small companies like that, they also have little things at the bottom of their website. You can go down, and when you hit the bottom, it usually says wholesale. You click that and you do wholesale inquiries, and usually they have an email. So you send the email and you're like, hi, this is my company, blah, 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 blah. We're interested in doing wholesale with you. Now, usually finding this out the hard way, this is a good fact. First, before you do any of your wholesale inquiries, because most of wholesale people are looking for this information, get your business license. Your business license, if you get it on LegalZoom, they say it takes up to like 2 weeks. Let me tell you something. It has taken almost a month to get my business license. I'm sitting here right now telling you, it's like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks before you get your business license, because mine was held up in state processing, so there was a holdup. So get that done, because they're going to ask you for your tax number, all the stuff that's on your business license that they're going to mail you. They're going to ask you for that information to verify that you are a true brick and mortar, real, like you're not fucking with them kind of business. So before you even go for wholesale inquiries, make sure you get your business license. That's important. You can't get anything inventory wise without that. I'm waiting for it. Some companies ask for it and some don't. Usually small companies don't ask for it. That's my experience with it. I haven't been asked by any small companies, but companies like Kid Robot, EE Distribution, Diamond, they're all going to ask you. Those are all for comic book and toys purposes. So yeah. Another thing people don't tell you when you are starting a business, you're gonna need Adobe. Unless this is my personal experience. I do not have a graphic designer on retainer. I don't have that. I have previous experience with the Adobe suite. So I was like, I'm just gonna design what we need, like logos and flyers and business cards and what have you. If you're that person, if you're like me and you're like, oh, I have some experiments with Photoshop, I can totally design the logo and get all that done. You're gonna need to buy Adobe, but not just Photoshop, like InDesign and Illustrator and Premiere. You're just going to have to invest into it. And that also means tons of time in front of YouTube trying to figure out, because what you think you know, you actually don't know. So you're just like, oh, I remember from that one time when I took Photoshop class in like 2011 that if I click this button, it does this. That ain't true, boo. That you click that, ain't shit happening. So you need, this is my advice, You either get a graphic designer, which is going to cost money. It's going to literally cost the same. $20 a month for Adobe if you're a student, or you're just going to pay a lump sum, like something like $300, I would guess, for a graphic designer. That's my guesstimate. I don't know. Don't come for me in the comments. I don't know how much graphic designers cost. Of course I don't, because I'm not using one. I'm my graphic designer. So with that said, you either invest in the time and then the money to work on Adobe, or you just pay for a graphic designer, which at this point, to save you time, because running the business, like getting all the distributors, calling Pepsi to get Coke machines or whatever the fuck you want downstairs, let's say downstairs in your storefront, is going to be a lot of time. So it's time consuming to try to teach yourself something like Adobe. Trust me, I know. It's my full-time job. And you're all asking like, oh, why isn't she working right now? I am in, that's just a segue, because you're like, oh, if it's a full-time job and you have no time, why are you sitting here on YouTube talking about it? Good question. The answer is I'm waiting for my business license. I can't do anything right now until I get it. I can't finish my inventory with my distributors. I can't finish that list until I give them the business information they need. I cannot go downstairs, which is where my storefront is. I cannot go downstairs and install anything because I'm waiting for more shelves to come in the mail. I can't do much of anything until everything lines up just about right. So right now, I'm just doing minor paperwork, like getting all the expenses that it's cost to open the business ready and filming videos. So that is why I haven't. That's why I'm here. So just so you know. Another thing people don't tell you when you start a business, you're going to have to learn that your whole life is now this business. There is nothing else. Nothing else. All I think about is comic books. All I think about is inventory. All I think about is LegalZoom. I'm really, right now, my brain is just going around POS systems, and not piece of shit systems, but point of sale systems. Because I laughed when I heard POS, because that just makes me think piece of shit system. And I was like, okay, but it's point of sale system. So you're going to be constantly thinking about all these things and what you need to do and all the money that's going into it and all the money you're not quite getting back yet and how much money it's going to cost to open the doors. My brain right now is just running purely on, should I get ShopKeep or should I just go with what the bank is offering a part of their business account thing? So I'm just like, what's the benefits of ShopKeep is a little bit better. I know nothing about the bank's option of POS systems. These are the things you're constantly going to be thinking about to the point where you're going to drive yourself crazy. Luckily, my fiance and I are both in this together, so I'm not boring the shit out of him, just constantly talking about things we need to do. Constantly. It's just like, hey, we need to do this, that, and the third. And he's like, oh yeah, we also need to do this, and this. And we're just like, yeah, We literally talk about this until right before we go to sleep. So just know it's going to consume you. You're going to live and breathe business and barely eat right because you're just spending all your money on other things that you're not even eating what you should be. Another thing people don't tell you when you're starting a business. This is a good thing. This is something that everyone should do. If you're in your local city or town, you should get to know your local businesses. So, for example, we needed a banner made for our business. So I looked up the banner, the type of banner we needed. I looked up on Kinko's and it was like $139. And then by chance, my fiance, since we're spray painting a mural downstairs, he was like, we need paints and things. I looked up a local art store, walked in, they also do printing. And not only do they do printing like banners, business cards, flyers, postcards, all of that, they also do banners. And the exact banner I want from them is $32. So not only did I save money, I also got a connection because they also would love to carry our flyers and get the word out on our business because local businesses were sticking together and their store is like down the street from my future store. So getting to know your local businesses will help just in the networking. You all can work together, spread the word about each other's shop. It just helps to know your community that you're in because it'll help you expand your business, get the word out faster, if that makes sense. So it's good to go to local businesses, try to do more local things, like go to farmers markets and stuff like that, just to get more in touch with your community, because the more in touch with your community you are, and their needs and what they want and how they're oriented, just kind of, you learn your community and then you can cater to that in order to get the most people through your door. So what I learned from that nobody told me, which kind of makes sense, is just network within your community and try to figure out their needs and pertaining to your business. Nobody ever tells you when you're starting a business, everything takes forever. We thought, because I'm assuming we were naive, I guess, that it wouldn't take that long. We would get the place, we would move in, we would immediately start everything. We'd be done in, say, setting up in a month. Shouldn't be that hard, right? Wrong. Now, let me get close. Let me tell you, everything takes forever. This is not an exaggeration. Like I told you, my business license, they said it'd be here in like 2 weeks. It is now, we're creeping up on week 4 and I have no business license. I just checked before I started this video and they said, oh, it should be there by the 26th. Today's the 25th. It ain't gonna be here tomorrow. I know it's not gonna be here tomorrow. They lost their mind. It won't be here. That's okay though. So that's just one example. Another example, just getting inventory and like filing with a company and getting the discount code so you don't have to pay retail for something that you're just gonna go around and sell, gonna take forever. Correspondence back and forth, gonna take forever. And then you think about, if 2 partners in your business, there's 3 partners in my business, 2 of them work full-time jobs. I am only one person and I am running all the paperwork, the behind the scenes stuff of the business. It's gonna take twice as long because we can only work after they get off work on the physical storefront, just to get everything painted, primed, hung up, bolted to the wall, what have you. So if you're gonna try to partner with somebody and get your business started, just allot for that time that you need. If you're gonna do it, just allot for that like 3 or 4 months, because we only allotted for like 2 months max, and we are running on we're running on like 3. So, and it might not even be open because we're waiting for paperwork and stuff. So that's also a thing. Now let me get to the beautiful parts about owning a business. Beautiful parts are, especially in my business, I'm a nerd. I love comic books, I love minifigurines, I love pop vinyls. Not only do I get to sell those things, but I'm gonna get boxes and boxes and boxes at wholesale price of all of those things, and I get to know about it before everyone else. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to get all that merch to your house and just get to look at it. Sad thing is I can't open it and play with it because I'm trying to sell it, trying to make money. But the glory of going through and picking out what you're gonna buy and like nerding out over a thing and like trying to get how you want the look of the store in your head, that's pretty fun. Setting up the store, buying inventory, those are like the best parts of owning a business. And also just working with your friends and doing something you love and not having to work for somebody you don't want to. Not doing a job you don't want to. Honestly, owning the business outweighs the frustratingness of opening a business, because I only have to open it once. I only got to do it one good time. And I only have to learn the hard way one good time. But then once it's open, then we got a business and I get to literally hang out and sell toys, comic books, and art figures for a living. Basically getting paid to play with toys and read comic books. And anything that pertains to your business, because we're also going to have a gaming lounge in our comic book shop. Like, say we bought a Wii for the gaming lounge. That is a business expense. It's all tax deductible. I need those two for my store. So that's pretty dope. Working with your friends, pretty fun. Yeah, saying that you own your own business, you work for you. That's honestly the best part of owning a business. Everything I listed is frustrating, but when you get down to it, you're working for yourself, which is completely and totally worth it. So I'm Spacey Babe. That was my never mind. So I'm Spacey Babe. If you liked that video, you know, give me a thumbs up. Tell me about anything you guys are interested. If you guys are opening any businesses, what other things that nobody ever told you about opening a business, put that down below in the comments, because, you know, we all should tell our story. So whoever reads it and knows about it do not have to go through what we went through. So yeah, share your stories. And, you know, opening a business is tough, but it's totally rewarding. I'll be back with another video Friday. I'm gonna say Friday, sometime this week. Probably Friday. Most likely Friday.